Hi guys! Today we will have a closer look at another solid American tank destroyer, the M10 Wolverine at Tier 5. I quite like this machine as it plays similarly to the T-40, a tank destroyer I just simply adored. I did not get Ace Tanker on this one yet, but I reliably had good games in it, and I was able to put down some effective fire game after game. Still, this little machine is little more than a stopover for me, as you do not get a lot of improvement in firepower compared to Tier 4, so while I enjoyed my game with it, I did not really stick around to ace it. Maybe in the future I will revisit it though. Before we go any deeper into the review, I just wanted to point out quickly that as usual you can jump straight to the gameplay if you want, with the timestamps in the description below. Now with that sorted, let's have a closer look at what this baby is about. At Tier 5 you have two very distinct choices in the American tank destroyer line, the T-67 and the Wolverine. Unlike its very agile counterpart, the Wolverine actually has some protection, at least from the front, though you should not really expect wonders. Although mostly you are not one-shot territory, the armor is only good enough to allow you to get back quickly into cover when you react a bit too late on getting spotted. Another distinct feature is that although this is part of the non-turreted TD line, the Wolverine, and later at Tier 6 the Jackson, still have turrets, even if not really amazing ones. As you can see in a quick tank inspector overview, the only really tough part is the well-angled lower glacis. The upper body on the other hand is quite easily penetrated, and the turret isn't exactly bulletproof either. From the sides and rear it has very limited protection as well, so most of the time it is really a good idea to disappear if you get spotted. It is however the gun selection that makes this machine truly interesting. We get two good choices, the high DPM 76mm M1A2 and the 105mm derp gun M4. Both guns are good at what they do, and the choice between them will be mostly down to personal preference than anything else. I did try both of them, and I personally like the M1A2 better, but I have to admit I had really good games derping around as well with the M4. So let's have a closer look at each of the guns and see how they hold up against the competition. First we have a look at the 76mm M1A2, which is actually an upgraded version of the M1A1, the gun you were using on the T-40 back in Tier 4. This is a very slight upgrade only. You get a better rate of fire and slightly better accuracy, but the base penetration and damage values are exactly the same. I have to admit it's always a bit disappointing to have to use the same gun a tier higher as well, but it still does the job reasonably well. Guess that just shows what a great gun the M1A1 was back at Tier 4. The true potential of this gun lies in its DPM potential, that is one of the highest in its tier. The penetration of 128mm and the alpha damage of 115 are not amazing, but with careful aiming you can chew up even the toughest opponents. A good example are the heavy tanks, as you will constantly be tested against KV-1s and KV-1Ss in this tier. If you aim for the weak spots however, and position yourself well, using your 18 rounds per minute rate of fire, you can DPM them into the ground quite effectively. The accuracy of 0.38 is not amazing, but it's not bad, and the aiming time of 1.7 seconds and the reload of 3.3 seconds help you as well to keep the gun firing. Your other gun option is of course the 105mm M4 derp gun. If you like derping around, this could be a great gun for you with the second highest alpha damage of 410. Just be mindful of the penetration limits, which at 53mm only is at the bottom end of the scale unfortunately. Nonetheless, if you choose your targets well and try to position yourself to get flanking shots and backstabs, you will have some hilarious games with this gun. Rate of fire is of course greatly reduced, and you can churn out only 7.6 rounds per minute. This means an 8-second base reload time, and that's one of the slower reload times in its tier. Combined with the high alpha damage however, this gun still has the overall highest DPM score of its tier. A very comfortable aiming time of 1.7 seconds is of course also very handy. Regarding mobility, it is one of the more cumbersome tank destroyers of its tier, but with 48 km/h top speed and 30 degrees per second hull traverse, you could not call it really slow. What is slow is the turret traverse however, which has only 17 degrees per second. But I guess that's the price you have to pay for having a turret in the first place. View and signal ranges are also on the plus side, as with both a view range of 370 meters and a signal range of 650 meters, it is in the top 3 of its tier. You can use this view range well against your opponents, especially against half-blind heavy tanks. Regarding equipment, I did actually go for camo net, gun rammer and gun laying drive to squeeze out even the last drops of DPM out of this machine, but you should actually consider swapping the gun laying drive for binos or optics. Vents are unfortunately not available for this machine either. As for crew skills, I would suggest the usual starting TD setup, 6 cents for the commander and camo for everyone else. So just to summarize it quickly, your strengths are the DPM values and your view range, while you suffer in alpha damage and protection is quite limited as well. Due to this tank should mostly be played from good cover, so you can put down the DPM hammer undisturbed. Just don't forget to aim for the weaker part. Now with all that said, I think it's time we finally move over to the gameplay to see how this thing behaves on the battlefield. Alright, so here we are on Prohorovka in an encounter match. It's a tier 5 game, which is always nice when you are playing the Wolverine. We are starting from the southern position. I'm going to my favorite position, which is around the railroad track. Now I like to go here from both sides actually. There is limited cover here. You can use the pure distance to remain hidden. Of course, if everybody is coming a little bit closer, you have to get the hell out of there. Good thing is, if they come on one side, you can just roll down on the other and you are instantly in cover. So we can expect the enemy team to be in the cap circle in a couple of seconds. And there we go. Now there is not many players from our team focusing on the middle, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's not a disaster. And the 82 is going up to the cap circle. Now it will take him probably an hour to get there, because he's slow as a snail. But it's no rush, it's encounter, so we have enough time. And as soon as he enters the cap circle, the countdown will freeze. And we will have plenty of time left to shoot up the enemies trying to cap. Oh, look like the enemy M8A1 got lucky there. Cheeky little bugger. Okay, so there are two enemy guys in the cap circle. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Cruiser spotted. Good hit. And he's gone. So, one other guy left. Honestly, unless you are getting rushed, playing a TD can be a real turkey shooting from these from the railroad tracks. You can shoot up the hill, you can shoot down the middle. If you have the means to, you can even shoot all the way across the other side of the map. And this KV-1S was quite unlucky. And you will see this me doing quite a lot. I like to break their cover when they are hiding behind the houses. They are not as safe as they think they are. And I have quite a lot of ammunition, so I can just keep on shooting. And that's what I mentioned. KV-1, KV-1S, we don't have the best alpha damage by far, and we also don't have the best penetration by far, but with the DPM, if we try to avoid the hardest parts of these tanks, they are actually going down surprisingly fast. and they are one of the most feared tanks of their tier. So he popped out, but we keep on firing. We'll get you eventually.
Enemy armor is damaged. They're knocked out.
So this is going reasonably well now. The team is actually not that far ahead, it's only 8-6, but so far the enemy hasn't really shown any dangerous maneuvers. They just gone to the cap circle and died. So here I decided to go after the hill climbers on the side, but I get a bit careless, and this is far too much out in the open. Should have stick to cover. And I get spotted and receive a hit. That was not too dangerous. However, there is fire coming in from the left, so I guess it's the enemy TDs that are shooting on me from their side of the railroad. See, they are usually camping there and also on the other side of the little river. So going where I just was is actually quite dangerous. Oh, hello. See, they are coming one by one. They don't really make it too difficult for us. And we still get one more shot in, but unfortunately capping is successful, so we can't get more damage. But it was a good game. So that was quite an enjoyable game on Redshire, and that did net us a high caliber award with a first class mastery badge. We did over 1800 damage while scoring 3 kills, and that did bring us a total of 38,500 credits with a premium account, and just over 1000 days XP undoubled. Not bad for a tier 5 game. We did secure the highest damage caused, most kills, and also the most XP earned from both of the teams, which is always nice. Our accuracy was not flawless, as we fired 26 shots and scored only 18 hits with it, but the placement of shots was actually fine, as from the 18 hits, 17 penetrated as well. Not bad. Okay, so this time we are in Redshire, in a standard battle, and lucky for us, it's another tier 5 game. Now, when I'm playing a TD on Redshire, I usually choose between two favorite spots. One is just here on the right, behind this house, which gives me quite nice shots on the middle on the enemy scouts that I can pretty much expect to zoom down right as the game starts, and also I can shoot up the hill and then I can relocate as necessary, or I'm just going straight here where usually the heavy tanks go and battle it out behind this little hill, as there are excellent sniping spots up on top of the hill with some rocks, bushes, trees. You have everything you need, and you can just quite quickly roll down if you get spotted. So, scout number 1 as expected, but unfortunately we don't have shot at it, but never mind, here is our chance. 1 and 2. Dropping like flies. So, very nice scouting job by the enemy. Now they know exactly that the enemy is going where they usually go. Well done. Useful information to have. Oops. An early bird is already there, so careful. And that's just enough for a shot, and he's gone. Luckily I was doing quite well in this match, just popping out from behind the ridge, just enough so I can get my shots in, like with this DW2. I can just hit the commander's hatch. He has no chance hitting me from that position. But there was another mistake here. I was out in the open, and as I started firing, I got spotted straight away. So you see RT is trying to aim at me as well. And that Churchill is an awful position. I can just shoot up his lower glacis. Whenever the gun allows, of course. So he was just being shot at about 6 times. So yeah, why not come back to the same position? In the meantime, the battle here on the side is going quite straightforward. We are at 6-1 by now. Easy beating. Looks like we have another customer. And that's not even a challenge. But sometimes you get also these games. BDR, easy target. And you see the DPM on this machine. It's amazingly good. 82. Very tough tank. Unless you get to shoot the hatch. And I'm being shot at, so unfortunately we can't reverse quickly. So whenever you are getting shot at, have a really quick think about whether it's not good to just dive in forward, maybe find shelter there, because reversing, if you are far out on the ridge, it will take you ages to get back to cover. And now we are in the open again, but we have not been spotted, so that's fine. And most of their team is dead already, so I'm not that afraid. Now, probably they will be up on the hill right in front of me, so we have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so one there. Art is probably, yeah, he's behind the cap circle on the A line. So now we just go ahead. The whole team has to go and rush, trying to secure the last bits of damage. And in a second we will see where the last remaining Matilda is hiding, and to nobody's surprise, he is up on the hill behind that rock. Another favorite position on this map. Well, thank you very much for allowing us to shoot you. Why go in front of the rocks? I have no idea. But hey, he was doomed anyway. So that was another good match. Not really spectacular, but the sort of really enjoyable game that you can expect quite a lot in this machine. Even though we only got a second class mastery badge for this, we could secure another high caliber award with 1700 damage done and 4 tanks destroyed. We did receive for this over 29,000 credits with a premium account and 679 base XP undoubled. Once again, we are in first place from both teams for damage done, enemies destroyed, and also for XP earned. Once again, the accuracy was less than perfect, as from the 32 shots fired, only 17 hit the target, but we have to take into consideration as well that most of the damage done was on targets over 300 meters away. Placement of the shots was at the same time once again quite alright, as from the 17 hits we had 16 penetrations. So that's it for this little review, guys. If you watch your positioning and place your shots somewhat carefully, you will have a lot of good games with the Wolverine. I hope you did enjoy this video and found it useful. If so, please feel free to like and comment. Take care, and I hope to see you soon in one of the next videos.